Hi, in my last video I talked about getting to know yourself better, or as I like to call it, putting down your resilient roots. When you do this, you increase your resilience from burnout, either to prevent it or during your burnout recovery. Now, one of the things I talked about in that video was how getting a better understanding of yourself or your self-concept and to understand your values can help you when it comes to saying no to requests in the workplace. And so that's what video 9 in my Burnout Bouncebackability series is all about, acknowledging and upholding your boundaries. Now, the topic of boundaries is a much longer discussion than a 5-minute video. Depending on who you speak to, experts might talk about 2 or 4 or 5 or more boundary types. So for this short video, I'm simply going to focus on 2, but be cognizant that there are typically more than 2 boundary types. The boundaries I'm going to look at today are internal boundaries and secondly, external ones. Simplistically, internal boundaries are the boundaries that we set with and for ourselves, whereas the external boundaries are the boundaries that we set with and for other people. And these are so important for our burnout welfare when functioning in a workplace context. So let's look at some examples. The simpler of the two to see or sense is the external boundary. I'm sure you can envision the situation at work. Your boss or a co-worker comes to you to ask if you can work after hours or at weekends, or to cancel your holiday that afternoon when it's sports day at school for your kids. Or maybe you are being asked to take on a new project and you simply don't have the personal skills to deliver it. Or maybe you do have the skills to deliver it, but the timescales are incredibly short, or you haven't been allocated sufficient external resources, and so on. These events or situations might go against one or more external boundaries, like the hours that you work, or the level of responsibility that you are comfortable with. And you have the choice to make that external boundary visible or to not surface it. Now, if you make it visible to the other person, you uphold your external boundary and probably upholding your own welfare or resilience against burnout at the same time. And then there's your internal boundaries. I suppose you could call these what you expect of yourself. Things like ensuring your inbox is cleared every day, or making sure every new customer gets a callback within 2 hours, and so on. The difference for internal boundaries is that you make these rules for you alone. When you understand these external and inner boundaries, you can start to make choices rather than having these choices being made implicitly or explicitly for you. For example, if your boss asks you to work late, instead of it grinding on you and you don't know why, if you take the time to explore why you feel cheesed off, you can then make an active decision about making your boundary visible. Leaving it unexplored or unsaid will eat away at you, and chronic stress is what burnout is, remember? When I completed my own burnout recovery journey, I started to explicitly verbalize my boundaries to others. People even commented about it after I returned to work, and the more you state your boundaries and uphold them, the easier it gets, I promise you. And that's where the topic of putting down your roots from the last video really can empower you. So it's my assertion that roots and boundaries kind of go together. When the time is right for you, I recommend you start to explore these 2 wide-reaching topics as part of your burnout prevention and recovery cycles. Putting down your roots helps to uncover your boundaries, and knowing your boundaries can help to reduce your stress levels at work. It's powerful stuff. I'm Stuart at Unscrambled Heads. I'm a high-performance coach working with corporate professionals, executives and students. I have a focus on burnout recovery and prevention. Please follow, subscribe or connect to catch my Burnout Bouncebackability video series.